YouTube, what up, what it do? It's your homie, I go by Two, and I'm back with another vid, Two, Jordan to be exact, back with another vid. Make sure y'all like the channel, support the channel, subscribe to the channel, roll to 10K subs. I repeat, 10K subs. Show some love in the comments. Alright, since we still on the topics of jobs, this is a true story based off of me when it came to Walmart. When I worked at Walmart distribution, there's difference between Walmart, the stores you go into Walmart is different. When I'm talking about Walmart distribution center, that's why I got Walmart DC, not Walmart in DC, Washington DC, like Walmart distribution center. This where all the products that you got from Walmart, from groceries to clothes, everything, this is where they produced everything, or whatever you call it. Alright, I'm a little sweaty. I just came from the gym. So basically, like, I had somebody I know that worked at Walmart to get me hired, because I heard about Walmart. At the time, they were starting you off at like $17. It was years ago, like 10 years ago. They were starting you off with $17, and then when you stay there for 2 more years, you get like you go up to like 18, 19, something like that. The job I was working at the time, I was just cleaning, mopping, just doing janitorial work, stuff like that. So I was like, man, because I already had got put on child support, and I was like, man, I gotta find a better job so I could survive. Not just for child support to get their bread, so I got some bread myself. So I decided to go to Walmart distribution center. I got one of my friends that I know, he got me hired up there. And first I was putting in a lot of applications. I'm talking about all day long, every day. Any position that they had, whether it was night, morning shift, or whatever, graveyard shift, I was trying my best to get on. So I would put in for anything. And this was going on for probably 2 to 3 months. So the last one I put in for was like a morning shift. It was for an unload processor, and I put in for it. Next thing you know, I got a call. Boom, they called me to come up there. I was excited, man. I was like, man, finally finna make some big bucks like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna make the big dollars. But I got up there. Of course, you gotta do your piss test and all that. I'm gonna skip all that. Y'all know when you do orientation and all that. So orientation is a little different. They have you do like PT. It's like you like in there doing I forgot this little thing you roll with your arms, like a little roll thing. See how strong your arms is, I guess. But one of the things that stuck out to me, they had weights in all of the crates, and all of them was sitting on top shelves. And you had to grab the crates from the shelves and bring it down each by bit. Then I'm like, man, this ain't nothing. But boy, when I had to put them back, this when I first started working out lifting weights. When I first had to put them back, man, I felt all kind of pain in my back. I was like, dang, is this how it gonna be? And I was like, man, they gonna break a nigga back. Pause. They gonna break a nigga back in here. So I passed all that and stuff, and it was time to start my shift or whatever. I had to be there early in the morning, 6 something. And it was a guy, I ain't gonna name his name, it was a white guy that had to train me or whatever like that. And I had to follow him around, so he was showing me how to count the freight, how to process the freight and all that stuff. I went from him to going. First I started in a trailer with this guy that I started with, and this older guy. He had passed away. I don't want to mention nobody's name or nothing. They don't want to be mentioning the story. But man, if they got you in the trailer, you know how the trucks, the big trucks y'all see on the highway, you see the trailer attached to it. Walmart wants you to clear that whole trailer out, process it by yourself. You use the forklift by yourself. You lift anything that's heavy, you gotta lift it by yourself. So imagine it being hot, or you at one of Walmart that they do groceries too. You gotta make sure all that's out before you go. Lucky I ain't get stuck with that. So I had to learn that, but I also had to learn the process. You come in, Walmart, you come in, I'm trying to remember everything, it's been so long ago. You come in Walmart, you have a meeting and all that stuff, the meetings, sorry ass meetings they be having. And then you go and get your, it's like a little monitor with a monitor that you push around, like it's sitting on top of like a little thing you push around. And you got the scan gun and all that. So you push the monitor, man, Walmart distribution center so dang big, man. Like, pause. It take forever for you to push and get to your station where you gotta unload process. So you get down there, unload process, boom. You get your stuff down there, then next thing you know, some people will do you bogus, they'll leave horrible freight up there that you gotta figure out and do. And then you do that, and then you gotta deal with you doing unload process what I was doing. Then you gotta deal with the nigga who riding on the forklift. Man, the nigga that riding on the forklift is the one who feeds you the freight. Now you either gonna get some good freight or you get some bad freight. This dude here, man, he was caking to all the hoes. All the ladies, when I say hoes, I mean it in a good way. He was caking to all the women. All the women that he liked, he made sure they had the easy freight. Cause you gon' where you gotta have certain numbers, you on production. So he always, I just pay attention, like, why they always give me all the oil, all the hard stuff, and pause, and he give the girls, the women, all the easy stuff. Next day, he cracking one of them down, beating their cakes up. So of course he gonna make sure his shorty eating good. He gonna make sure she meet her numbers, and that stuff you have to deal with too. Then you gotta write stuff down. In order to get past the production, you gotta write stuff down and say, oh, this what happened, that what happened. Man, I used to have the managers come to me. They would tell me, you missing some labels. And I'm like, the labels, they got a fan up there where they process the freight, and you put the label on there and you put it on the belt, and the freight go up like this. And they got a fan up there for people up there watching the freight, but not knowing that the fan is blowing the labels off the freight, and they blaming it on us. And I was just like, how you gonna blame it on me when y'all the one got the fan blowing to where it's gonna blow the labels off? So it's a lot, man. Then you deal with so much oil. The oil, it'd be like 50 cases of oil on each pallet. Then you dealing with, don't let them send your pallet of candles. All the candles different. You gotta automatically just manual scan just all of them, just boom, 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 boom. And then you gotta get the box. First you get the box, you scan it, boom. Then you get the label, boom. That's one label. You gotta throw, like, I can't remember, but you gotta throw over at least 3,000 boxes a day. And they gotta be labeled. You gotta meet production. Then I think they give you 2 20-minute breaks. About time you get to the break room, 10 minutes is up. About time you get something to eat or your lunch, whatever, 5 minutes is up. You going right back. Like, Walmart is brutal, and to the point where they don't appreciate your work. I will sit here and break my back trying to meet the numbers so I won't get fired. And they would never appreciate it at all. If y'all want part 2, let me know.